Could you help us with this question of parents and children, young children, teenagers who don't want to attend school, who don't have any feelings towards staying in school, they won't listen to their parents, and they're disrespectful to their parents? How, as an elder in the community, would this be dealt with this, this YouTube, Facebook generation of children and who are not listening and having?
You said that once.
Thank you.
Um,
Introduce yourself. Your name?
I am Iyafin Omoshalewa Amy Bell Yule Bush Olatunji. I am grateful to be contacted to answer a question about children being disrespectful. On the 26th of June, I encountered 4 young, handsome Nubian prince on the corner of Carroll Street and Nostrand Avenue. I started talking to them, after which I told them I had a 9:30 appointment, and they were invited to my home right down the block. I had been to the gym to work out for an hour before I met them, and they came. It's a very long story, but I'm giving you an abridged copy of it. And they came to my home. I asked them what were they going to have for lunch. No one knew. I asked each of them, give me $1. No one had $1. Then, when they came to I asked, what are you going to have for lunch? They didn't know. I said, come to my house, and I'm inviting you for lunch. They came, and I took them to my garden, and I said, I identified the growth in the garden, and I said, you pick from this garden, because that's going to be the basis of the salad that you're going to make for yourself. They went in the house, and we served soup, salad, and bread. They assisted me with some grunt work while they were here. And at 5 o'clock, I remembered I had another appointment. I had to send one of the princes to the corner to tell the person who was picking me up that I was coming. And I had to tell them, you've got to go home, you've got to go home. However, I had spoken to 1 or 2 of the parents before 5 o'clock. The others were not available. And on the 22nd of June, I had not seen them again. So I went to a church where one had invited me to his church. And the secretary did not know him, but then I called, and they came back. Several of them came back.
The young men.
The young men. And that time, they made their lunch from the garden again, but this time we had homegrown tomatoes, homegrown cucumbers, and the wild vegetation as their green lettuce on their sandwich. And they said, with olive oil and bread, and they said they had never had a sandwich like that before. And I said, I'm sure you haven't, because you have not had such an alive sandwich before. I gave them tuna to go on their sandwich, and they ate it with gusto.
Are you suggesting that this is how...
Part of it is the diet, the food that we're eating, because it's not alive and it stays in your colon for a long time, and it doesn't have the enzymes that it needs to press through the colon so it stays there and putrefies. And that's where disease starts. But this living food that's alive, those enzymes and those nutrients will push all of the debris out of the system. And that's the first thing I suggest, that the parents have the young people to make a garden, even if it's a potted garden. They can grow a garden in a pot, because you can grow tomatoes on the window ledge. You can grow your greens for your salad in the winter time on the ledge, because.
So you're suggesting that parents actually do this to help?
No, let the young
children.
People do it.
Okay.
Because our young people.
But the parents wouldn't.
Learning is a love affair. You either love the student and the student loves you, or then no learning can take place. I cannot hate you and teach you anything. I cannot hate your lifestyle and teach you anything. I must become one with you in order to impart anything. I have had a master's degree from Syracuse University for 56 years, a bachelor's degree from Talladega College and Historical Black College, the first college for Nubian prince and princesses in Alabama. I've had a bachelor's degree for 60 years. I just went for my 60th college class reunion in May. And I am not in bad health. I have been to the gym already 1 hour today, and it is around midday, the 6th of October, 2010. And I graduated college 1950, and my mother graduated 1910. So
what can parents do if their children don't want to go to school?
The parents then can require a lot more from the children. As I said, they can require them to grow their salad greens to eat. They can require them to do that.
Well, you know that if parents don't get their kids to go to school, it's now a law being made that parents themselves can be
indicted.
Right.
Because the children are not. See, because what the parents don't understand, for each child who is on the register of New York City Public School, the city gets thousands of dollars for that student. So if the student drops out, that's revenue that the school's Board of Education will not be able to collect. So you are a number in the school. So you've got to change that and make it something that will work for you. On my actual Earth Day, the 4th of October 2010, I went for the ribbon cutting of an very, very important historical building in our neighborhood, the STEM building, which is located at Bedford Avenue and Franklin Avenue on Medgar Evers Way. This school is placed there. It's practically $300 million that it took to build this school, and I signed it when they were raising the roof. We were invited to come and put our names in a prayer on the roof of this building, which I did several years ago. And then I went back for the ribbon cutting on Monday in the rain. And it's for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We need to get our students to go to be professors there, to be students there, to study science and technology. It is not a rocket scientist equation to work out. What the parents need to do is to start their children with multiple tables and let them learn.
Multiplication tables?
Yes, yes.